I've been reflecting on those moments when we feel like we're running on empty, just holding on by a thread, waiting for a breakthrough. And then there's this sudden shift, a stirring deep inside us that reveals a truth. God's provision isn't just enough, it's more than enough. Imagine standing under a waterfall, feeling the overwhelming rush of water, endless and overflowing. That's the feeling of God's abundance. It's not about just getting by. It's about stepping into a reality where the resources of heaven pour into your life, where there's no limit to what you can receive. Stay with me, because today we're going to dive into promises that are far more than words. They're life-changing truths. I'm about to share something powerful that can transform the way you view your circumstances forever. And I want you to write this in the comments. God's abundance is mine. Let this be your declaration today, the shift that opens your heart to what God has in store for you. This powerful declaration is rooted in Philippians 4 verse 19, and it's so much more than a promise. It's your divine inheritance through Christ Jesus. When you speak these words, picture heaven's vast storehouses opening up above you, pouring out provision. God's supply isn't dependent on the world's economy, your personal finances, or the constraints of your circumstances. Instead, it flows freely from the infinite resources of heaven. Every need, whether financial, material, or spiritual, has already been met in Christ Jesus. Envision yourself beneath that waterfall of divine provision, where God's resources flow without restriction. This isn't about your ability to earn or your understanding of abundance. It's about God's glory and His unending supply. The same God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, who turned water into wine, and who fed thousands with a handful of loaves and fish. This God is your provider. Nothing is too big, too small, or too impossible for Him. When Paul wrote to the Philippians, he emphasized the depth of God's provision. The key word "according" signifies that God's supply matches the vastness of His resources, not the limitations of your earthly reality. Imagine the Creator of the universe, the one who scattered the stars and formed treasures beneath the earth, promising to meet every need you have. This isn't just about financial wealth. It's about breaking free from the chains of lack and scarcity. It's about recognizing that your provision comes from an eternal, inexhaustible source. Even when it seems like the doors are closed, or the numbers don't add up, God's supernatural supply remains abundant and unwavering. His promise covers more than just money. It includes wisdom for decisions, favor with others, creative ideas, divine connections, and unexpected opportunities. God doesn't just meet your needs, He anticipates them. As you speak this blessing, let faith rise in your heart, knowing that every need you have has already been provided for in the economy of heaven. Trust that the same God who cares for the flowers of the field and feeds the birds of the air cares for you even more. His provision is timely, perfect, and overflowing. Let's look at another powerful promise from Deuteronomy 28 verse 12. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, witnessing heaven open and pour out an abundance so vast, it transforms you from a borrower into a lender. This isn't just about money. It's about stepping into a new realm of prosperity where you reflect God's generous nature. God promises to release blessings that not only empower you to receive, but to give. Picture the heavenly vaults unlocking, pouring out not just enough, but a surplus that enables you to bless others. This abundance is not bound by worldly systems or cycles. It comes from an eternal, inexhaustible source. God promises that you'll lend to many and borrow from none. This declaration brings freedom to your financial life. Debt can limit and bind you, but God's provision liberates and elevates you. This blessing also breaks generational cycles of scarcity, positioning you as a source of abundance and influence. Instead of struggling with debt, you'll be empowered to give, to lend, and to bless others. And this blessing doesn't stop with financial wealth. It extends to every area of your life. Your career, business, investments, creative projects, all of it carries the fingerprints of divine favor and multiplication. No longer will your identity be defined by lack. You'll become known as a source of blessings in your community, your industry, and even to the nations. Through you, God's abundant nature will become visible to the world. Speak this blessing today, and watch as your reality shifts to match the unbounded, overflowing provision of God. I want you to embrace a powerful shift in your mindset today. See yourself as a vessel of supernatural overflow. Speak boldly and declare, I am a channel of God's abundance. His blessings flow through me to bless others. Walk forward in the confidence that this is your divine destiny. This life-changing truth from Proverbs 10 verse 22 redefines what prosperity truly means in God's kingdom. When heaven's blessings bring wealth, they are always accompanied by peace, joy, and purpose. Unlike the anxiety, stress, and constant striving that often come with worldly wealth, God's enrichment is satisfying for both the soul and the spirit. There's a stark difference between the riches of this world and those from God's kingdom. Earthly wealth often comes with sleepless nights, strained relationships, and the fear of losing it all. But God's blessing brings a wealth that allows you to rest in His faithfulness, with prosperity that comes without toil, abundance that is free of guilt. The Hebrew word for sorrow in this verse refers to painful labor or burdensome effort. God's provision doesn't require you to compromise your values, sacrifice your relationships, or exhaust yourself in the pursuit of wealth. When God blesses your work, it is multiplied and enhanced by His divine favor. What once felt like a struggle becomes a flow of abundance. Your efforts are no longer forced, they are blessed by His hand. This blessing isn't just about the amount of money you have, it's about the quality of your life. God's provision enriches every aspect of your life, relationships, purpose, joy, and impact. It's not just about material wealth, but about a fullness of life that only He can provide. Think of Solomon. God didn't just give him immense wealth, He gave him the wisdom to manage it. Like Solomon, you are receiving wealth that is accompanied by wisdom, prosperity grounded in purpose, and abundance tempered with understanding. This is not a fleeting wealth. It's a wealth that stands as a testimony of God's goodness and faithfulness, drawing others to witness the glory of His provision. Here's a profound truth. You don't have to choose between financial blessings and inner peace. In God's economy, true prosperity always comes with His perfect peace, His shalom, which guards both your heart and your resources. As you internalize this revelation of sorrowless wealth, let it transform your outlook on life. God doesn't just bless you with wealth, He empowers you to create it. Declare with faith, God gives me the power to create wealth. This powerful promise from Deuteronomy 8 verse 18 reveals the depth of your covenant relationship with God. It's not just about receiving wealth, it's about being divinely enabled to generate it. God activates within you a supernatural ability to create abundance in ways that glorify Him and advance His kingdom. The same creative power that spoke the universe into existence now flows through you. When God empowers you to create wealth, He imparts divine wisdom, strategies, and supernatural ideas directly into your spirit. This isn't about manipulating resources or striving in your own strength. It's about manifesting God's creative nature in the marketplace. Think of Joseph, who received divine wisdom to navigate a famine and prosper an entire nation. God is releasing similar innovative strategies to you. These aren't just good ideas, they are God-breathed ideas that carry the seeds of supernatural multiplication. Each time you declare this blessing, you unlock heaven's creativity and innovation in your financial endeavors. Remember, the power to create wealth isn't just for your benefit, it's a testimony of God's faithfulness. Your prosperity becomes a living testimony that draws others to recognize the goodness of God. People will see a God who delights in blessing His children, and your wealth creation becomes an act of worship, a tangible demonstration of His covenant love. This revelation also transforms how you see opportunities. Instead of waiting passively for provision, you are empowered to co-create with God. Every business venture, investment, and career move becomes an opportunity to partner with His divine wisdom. With the mind of Christ, you have access to a wellspring of wisdom that transcends human limitations. God's power to create wealth surpasses all natural boundaries, enabling you to thrive no matter your background, education, or current circumstances. He can use anything, a small idea, a modest business, or even an overlooked opportunity, to establish His covenant of abundance in your life. As this divine empowerment stirs within you, let's declare one final powerful truth. My storehouses are filled with plenty, and my vats overflow with new wine. This promise from Proverbs holds the key to a life of abundance, a life where your needs are met, your wealth is increased, and every area of your life flourishes under God's perfect provision. In the face of global crises, the message of God's love and the call to live a life filled with prayer, almsgiving, and compassion must never falter. While conflicts and difficulties may seem overwhelming, humanity has the strength to overcome them when united in faith. One remarkable example of this is Yvonne's mission, which continues to inspire and uplift the world. With a heart full of purpose, Yvonne returned to his mission with renewed energy, carrying the message of peace, healing, and reconciliation to nations torn apart by strife. In the Middle East, where tensions were high and divisions ran deep, Yvonne delivered speeches calling for tolerance, understanding, and unity. His words were like balm for a wounded land, offering hope and healing to those who were desperate for peace. His message was not only heard but felt. Many found themselves moved by the presence of the Virgin Mary, which seemed to infuse every word he spoke. His focus was on the importance of prayer, spiritual preparedness, and the call to work together to heal the wounds of society. But Yvonne's influence did not stop there. He took his message of peace and reconciliation to Africa, where poverty and injustice threatened to divide communities. He encouraged the people to rise above these challenges and support one another with compassion and solidarity. Through his efforts, a worldwide movement of hope began to take shape, one that was fueled by faith, prayer, and the desire to help those in need. As Yvonne's words of peace continued to spread, they inspired others to reflect on their own lives and deepen their relationship with God. People from all walks of life began to rediscover the power of prayer, spiritual devotion, and the importance of living with compassion. Communities across the globe started banding together, building bonds of mutual aid and solidarity. The principles of love and charity became the foundation for a new world, one that offered hope for the future despite the challenges it faced. The story of Yvonne of Medjugorje, combined with the intervention of the Virgin Mary and the miraculous signs that followed, stands as a powerful testament to the love and protection that God offers to all his children. In every apparition, in every moment of divine intervention, we are reminded that God's love is ever present, guiding us through the trials of life. Yvonne's message continues to shine as a beacon of hope, a call for spiritual renewal in a world that is struggling to find its way. His journey shows us that when we respond to God's call with devotion and faith, we can bring about change on a global scale. The compassion, unity, and faith that Yvonne speaks of are not just ideals but practical steps toward healing our world. His message urges us all to examine our lives, deepen our faith, and work together to build a future grounded in love and understanding. Through this collective effort, we can create a world that reflects the holy light and love of the Virgin Mary. Thank you for joining us until the very end of this video. We encourage you to share your thoughts on today's subject in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more uplifting and inspiring content.